So he pulls back on the stick, pulling the aeroplane vertically upwards, and he keeps pulling back until it's upside down, and eventually the nose is pointing back towards the sand before it rolls out of the dive. And just like the red arrow, we also have several types of display that we can try, depending on the weather. Yesterday we had to do the flat show, but today is very much the full display. So we're going to be showing off the Tucano to its very best for you today. Now Dave's going to pull the Tucano up into what we call the noddy stall turn. So again he pulls back on the stick, climbing vertically upwards. Watch him nod the nose to the left and to the right, and back round to the left again. The aeroplane hesitates briefly before swapping ends, pretty much within its own length, and diving back down towards the sand. Now as Dave's flying this display today, he's pulling up to 5 times the force of gravity, which means every part of his body, including the blood in his head, weighs 5 times what it would normally. And so Dave has to strain against that increased, what we call G-force, to prevent the blood draining out of his head. And that means he has to tense the muscles in his lower body, his legs, and also has to control his breathing to stop himself racking out under the G-force. Now the aeroplane Dave's flying for us today, and the poppy, a universal symbol of remembrance of course, but also the logo of the Royal British Legion. And the Royal British Legion, one of our charities, every year we select a number of charities to support, and the Legion is one of those this year. A fantastic organisation which provides fellowship and support to both serving and retired members of all the armed forces. As Dave flies a maximum possible rate turn, you see he's descending slowly, trading height for speed, to help him turn the Tucano at the greatest rate possible. What a contrast from yesterday. You see the sun there glinting off the Tucano. And look at that beautiful livery. It shows up fantastically against that lovely blue sky. Now I mentioned earlier that we use the Tucano as a basic fast jet trainer, and all the skills that we teach our pilots to do. So here we're seeing a couple of those. So we're certainly seeing the low-level flying and also the aerobatic aspects. We don't teach our students to combine those, but when they go on from the Tucano, they'll move on to fly the brand new Hawk T2 Advanced Jet Trainer and RAF Valley on Anglesey. And when they complete their training, they will go on to the front line, helping to defend the UK and its interests, both at home and abroad. 24 hours a day, 306, another really good view of that poppy on the underside with another stall turn. So for anybody who, like most people, won't get a chance to see this aeroplane display in Malta, this is your last chance to see this beautiful livery on the Tucano displaying in 2014. So what a view that is. Now Dave is a solo display pilot. He's flying the aeroplane by himself today, and it's just one aeroplane displaying. But of course, it takes a great deal of help, support and assistance behind the scenes to make this possible. So in particular, I'd like to say thank you to Babcock, who carry out all the engineering and support work on the Tucano at Linton on Ouse, and also to ITP, the Spanish company, who maintain and overhaul our Garrett turboprop engines. Now here's a great opportunity to do the Tucano from all angles. Today performs a slow roll forward. So on the outside that looks quite elegant, but on the inside they're working pretty hard to balance all 3 flight controls, the ailerons, the elevator and the rudder. Now I mentioned the poppy of the Royal British Legion, which again Dave is showing off in this new manoeuvre for this season, what we call the hanging stall turn. The aircraft slowly transitions from left to right, appearing to hang in mid-air. When it won't stay there any longer, Dave fits in a boot full of left rudder to point it down towards the ground. So the Royal British Legion is one of our charities this year, but also the Royal Air Force Association. Again, a wonderful and very worthwhile. Dave's now coming to the end of the display, so he's going to dive back down to 100 feet. He's going to dip his wing to say goodbye. So everybody please give him a big wave. Give a big send off to the 2014 season. Really delighted to fly for you both this weekend and over the last last 4 months as we've gone around the Airshow circuit. He's going to do a Canadian break to sign off.
In fact, he's not going to talk to me anymore because we've handed over the microphone already. But thank you very much indeed. Please now welcome Lizzie Spencer.
Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls. That's rather blurry and respected rival from the Blaze Aerobatic Display Team. My name's Lizzie, and it's my job to tell you all about the Blaze, which arrives at right place at the right time. Now the Blaze are one of the only space teams out there that shows a very proud rival. Now today's pilots, we've got Blaze 1, who leads the team, Mark Cutmore, also known as Cutty. Blaze 2, Miles, Blaze 3 is Smithy, and Blaze 4 this year is Andy Evans for the solos. Now throughout the display there are 30 manoeuvres that jump at 15 minutes. This starts at 10G with next 2G. This is the next one, putting up to 8G with a Blaze break. As they fly over 12 feet apart. Those next delivery is days 1 and 4. Forming head to head, they do a combined speed of 350 miles per hour. This is for the 1 and 4 cross. Now the good optimist call this one is the fantastic hairtail slide. He's putting the next 50 into the hesitation row. Now this next manoeuvre we like to call the lobster Czechoslovakian or headache or hangover, as some of you can well imagine that feeling in the cockpit, feeling slightly Now Danny Evans calls up again. He's already looking for his teammates and plays one whistle roll. Now, for those of you that want your cameras in your hands, a fantastic photo opportunity as they do the loop showing off the underneath of the wing. Now, some of you might recognise this next manoeuvre from the Yorkshire TV advert. They pull up at the hot steaming cup of tea. They pull up into the vertical, and roll over to the left. This is for the hammerhead. Now the pilots are throughout their whole career, even as red arrows. Now hammerhead was one of the hardest moves they had ever performed. Now as you can see, the blades are getting rather close to each other, only 12 feet apart, but that's at 8 feet. Simply pulling over, the back. Now this is also another fantastic camera opportunity as they're putting their smoke on for the beautiful whirlpool. Now if we haven't enticed some of you already to come and fly with us up at Northamptonshire so well, hopefully we'll do in the second half of this display. The beak to beak thrust. Now for this next one, Andy Evans again, flying up, flying down. Just like to give a wave to everyone that waits back in. So please give him a huge wave. This is for the line abreast spirit split. The absolute delightful line, the famous Buzz Aldrin. Now Buzz actually told the blades that this is the only time that he's ever flown this manoeuvre. This is the twin tumble. And go! Now as they finish off their wingers into the opposition snaps, they fly towards each other yet again at 300 miles per hour. For the goose and the duckling. Now believe it or not, ladies and gents, unfortunately we do only have one last manoeuvre to come. If you do have any questions for me about the blades or the blades to break.
This is the blade break. 6. Rolling. Out. I've got. Stop. Delay. Break. Break. Go.